So, freedom of speech is a Western concept. Now, certain countries don't tolerate any kind of bad mouthing, right? You put the country down, they put you behind the bars. So, what happened is certain content creators they made the big mistake, and this is a big mistake of showing some explosions and some unsafe situations in certain GCC countries. And if you do that, in fact, a couple of countries there criminalize this kind of behavior, put some criminal charges, and a lot of content creators fled and immediately deleted that kind of nonsense, that kind of content from their social media. So you got to be careful with the type of country you're dealing with. As I said, freedom of speech is accepted in certain countries. It is a Western concept. The objective of this video is not to badmouth any country. Here we are talking about why money is fleeing certain GCC countries. A lot of people, because of the situation, right, without bad mouthing them, without getting banned or blacklisted from that country, it's important to understand what's happening. So we're not going to criticize, but the thing that's happening on the ground is a lot of people, because of the safety situation, it was safe, unsafe, whatever that is, people want to move two things out of the country. One is their cash, their money, their wealth. They don't feel secure. Their family does not feel secure in certain countries in the Middle East, and they want to escape. They want to remove the money from the country, diversify that cash somewhere else, not depend on visas. A lot of GCC countries, for example, the UAE does not provide citizenship ordinarily. All right. So if you know the king and stuff like that, you're a real big shot. Yes, you could obtain a citizenship in rare circumstances, but typically your average Tom, Dick, and Harry is not going to get nationality from that country. One wrong move, you could be kicked out anyways. So you got to be very careful, follow the laws, listen to what they're saying. The second thing they want to do is physically be ready to leave, right? So yes, you might not get kicked out. You might get kicked out. That's subsequent, that's later. But for now, you want security, financial security and physical security. And that's where a lot of people for backup, the best backup. I mean, one of the biggest things that has happened, positive things, positive impact that has happened in 2026 so far is that Turkey, the nation of Turkey, the same country that gives you a citizenship for purchasing a property. I'm going to get to that in a second here. Suddenly, this option has skyrocketed because of a major change. And before I touch upon the major change and how you could quickly acquire this, how you could expedite this, if you are new to this channel, then please check your subscription. And if you feel that this channel adds any value, please turn that on. It helps this channel grow and helps me get you more valuable content. And at any point in time, you are interested in starting any of the options that I'm going to mention in this video. After Turkey, I'm going to discuss a couple of options that sit nicely on this passport coming towards the end. You can click the link, book a call, we can have a quick chat and get you started with all these options. Now, the biggest change is the 20-year tax holiday. This is huge. Most of you guys watching this channel are between 35 and 60. When you talk about 20 years, that's a lot of time to save on cash, to save on money. It's gone territorial for the next 20 years. So if you get the passport and you start living in the country, you can save a bunch on taxes. And again, it all varies by which country you're coming from. But most people can structure this correctly and pay no taxes for the next 20 years. So suddenly this has skyrocketed. The second big advantage with Turkey is that it's a beautiful, gorgeous country. It's a country that provides good life. Because for good life, you need beauty, you need friendly people, you need good food options, you need good places to visit, you need the sea, you need the beaches, you need the mountains, you need the skiing, you need all the activities, you need the life. And that's what Turkey provides, a beautiful country. The third advantage is the Istanbul airport, because that connects you with the entire globe. It's one of the most valuable airports to be close to have your home close to. So taxation is the big change that has transformed Turkey. Even their residency, the 200K in property investment route itself is a major victory. But what I truly like is the citizenship. You purchase a property, you save a bunch on taxes, and you get a citizenship. The Turkish passport is really good. It's not about the EU access. No one wants the EU access. Most people watching this channel don't care about the EU access because you have a solid, strong Western passport. Now, of course, there'll be few people who don't have a solid, strong Western passport, so they would care about the EU access, and that's super easy to obtain on the Turkish passport. You can do a golden visa. It could be a paper path to the EU, but even otherwise, the Turkish passport has extraordinary access. A 1 year visa-free stay in a country like Georgia, do a border run, and you could spend not even 1 day. I was gonna say a day out, but 15 minutes out, and you can come back into Georgia and continue living like that for a lifetime, at least as of now. And you, of course, can have a plan C backup in Georgia. And in addition to that, it also has the best visa free in the Latin region. It has Uruguay, Paraguay, Panama, and Mexico. Those are the 4 residencies that are a must-have in any portfolio. A lot of my clients pick at least 1 or 2 residencies out of the 4 that I just mentioned. So the Turkish passport gives you a head start. You can enter these countries with your Turkish passport, and in some cases in Mexico, you can obtain the card based on your family connectivity. Or in Uruguay and Paraguay, you can entirely bypass the visa and you can obtain the residency in those countries. So that's why I think the Turkish passport makes a lot of sense. Now, what are the options to strike your stay in Turkey? The 2 options. One is you place 200K in a real estate in a property in Turkey. You get the normal residency that you keep renewing, and that's how you can pay. You can structure your taxation using the tax holiday down to 0. And the second option, and my favorite, as I said, is a 400K in a property in any of the areas in Turkey. And we have specialized teams in different areas that not only get you a property that qualifies or is suitable for the Turkish citizenship, but a property that will retain its value. So you don't want to lose your money. You don't want to pay 150K in a bloated, overpriced real estate. You want to find quality options which do qualify for citizenship, yet they retain their value. So tomorrow, if you are switching your property, you're selling it off, you're moving out, you are going to create value for yourself. Your asset is going to grow in value. So that's the best option in Turkey. Now, there is a third option where you can put 500K in a bank deposit, lock it up for 3 years, and that we don't have to deal with a Turkish real estate. But I would rather deal with a Turkish real estate, especially with a territorial tax holiday, I should say, in play. So I think now the real estate is a lot safer if you do the right move, if you purchase the right real estate. And that's where a team narrows it down, gives you specific options based on your tastes. So you can pick what really works for you, what really retains value for you long term. And you can obviously work towards your Turkish passport. Now, how much time does the Turkish passport take? Now, let's say you are aggressive, you pick up a property pretty soon, you can realistically target getting a property in a month to 2 months. You can wrap that up. And then after that, once you come for your residency, there's an expedite residency process in 24 hours. You can strike your residency in Turkey. The same day you can apply for your citizenship. Once you apply for the citizenship, now the fastest is around 4 to 6 months. But typically, when we say this, we've got to be realistic. And I would say from 8 months to 10 months, typically. Again, it could take less, it could take slightly more. But on an average, 8 to 10 months, you should be able to wrap up the Turkish citizenship, get that passport, and have the ultimate backup and security for the next 20 years from a tax perspective and lifetime from a residency and citizenship perspective. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the Turkish option in 2026? How many of you are seriously consider doing Turkey? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed, and catch you in the next one.